Welcome to In Brief series, second episode, Martin Luther and Reformation. In the first episode, we shed light on the background of the 14th and 15th centuries, and we highlighted the corruption in the church. We discussed the life of John Wycliffe and his relationship to the papacy and the church, and how he advocated man's right to access the Bible and to worship God without the control of the church. Today we're going to discuss Martin Luther and Reformation, but in the form of questions and answers. First, what do you know about Martin Luther's life? In brief, he's the father of Protestantism, of which there is a branch named Lutheranism. He's a son of a miner. He studied law in 1505, received his doctorate in theology, and appointed as professor of scripture in 1511. What is his approach to theology? Christ is the sole mediator between God and man, and that forgiveness of sins and salvation are effected by God's grace alone and are received by faith alone on the part of man. What is his opinion of indulgences? He posted his famous 95 Theses on the door of the Catholic Church at Wittenberg on the 31st of October 1517. Although some of the Theses directly criticized papal policies, they were put forward as tentative objections for discussion. The Saxon Dominican provincial charged him with heresy, and he was summoned to appear in Augsburg before the papal legate Cardinal Cajetan. What Reformation works did Luther do? In 1520, his views were stated in three works. Number one, address to the questionability of the German nation. He invited the German princes to take the reform of the church into their own hands. Number two, a prelude concerning the Papalian captivity of the church. He attacked the papacy and the current theology of sacrament. Number three, on the freedom of a Christian man, he stated his position on justification and good works. Luther was given 60 days to recant, then he was excommunicated. He took refuge in Wartburg Castle, where he lived in seclusion for 8 months. During that time, he translated the New Testament into German and wrote a number of pamphlets. His reforming work during subsequent years included the writing of the small and large catechisms, 7 books, more than a dozen hymns, over 100 volumes of tracts, treatises, biblical commentaries, thousands of letters, and the translation of the whole Bible into German. He organized evangelical churches and abolished many traditional practices, including confession and private mass. Priests married. Convents and monasteries were abandoned. Did he have hard times? He lost popular support since he urged suppression of the Knights' Revolt 1522 and the Peasants' War 1524-26. The reform movement was split when he failed to reach doctrinal accord with Ulrich Zwingli on the nature of the Eucharist. How far did his opinion spread? By the time of Luther's death, a large part of Northern Europe had left the Roman Catholic Church for new evangelical communities. His doctrines were adopted by other reformers and shared by many Protestant denominations today. As a founder of the 16th century Reformation, he is one of the major figures of Christianity and of Western civilization.